So, quick reminder, I'm with the Scuttlebutt community. I build a mobile app, and Scuttlebutt is a really good protocol for the zombie apocalypse or any kind of disaster. And that's a great thing, but you think, oh, well, disasters don't happen. So what I want to tell here quickly is because I was on the speaker list, but so people kept asking me, like, are you going to give a talk? And I was like, actually, no. So I thought about doing this quickly. So that, and I thought, what is the thing that I can speak about that other people will probably not speak about, or what can I bring that's new? What can I bring that's unique? And I'm going to talk about the climate and disasters and Scuttlebutt and decentralization. And what I'm going to talk about here is not ideology. So I'm going to share to you what is probably the worst news in your life. It's the worst news in my life as well. And this is science. And I recommend that you look at the science. Don't just trust what I'm saying, but take your time and check the science yourself. Because this thing is really serious. For instance, one of the kind of science you can check is IPCC. IPCC, and they have reports such as every decade they have some kind of big report. This is the so-called AR5, and it's from 2015. Assessment Report 5 from 2014. That is 5 years ago. This report is more optimistic than what we live today because it's from 5 years ago. And I recommend that you go through this, and it's not a biased report because it has scientists from all around the earth, from China and all these countries that are ideologically in disagreement with each other. And the reality is that, of course, our emissions are going up. Our CO2 emissions are going up. Let me just find the right chart. Is it this one? Yeah, CO2 emissions are going up, right? They're not going down. And we were talking about making them go down, right? We're all the time saying reduce the CO2 emissions. They're going up. And as well, extinctions are going up exponentially. This is reality. And we may think, okay, what can we do? Let's just reduce our emissions. Here are different scenarios for reducing our emissions. RCP 2.6 is the optimistic scenario where we do something really radical. We do like, sort of like, let's stop all of the emissions now type of thing. Everybody stop using cars, stop using airplanes, stop burning fossil fuels, stay at home, eat whatever plants you find around. This is RCP 2.6. Yes, and this is the other scenarios. This is just like how much CO2 we would do in these scenarios. But what I want you to understand is how would the world look like in case we do the most optimistic CO2 emissions reduction. Even if we stop, blue is for RCP 2.6. It means that if we stop all of our CO2 emissions right now, all the countries, our planet is still going to warm up by itself about 1 degree or half degree. If we stop everything radically in the next 20 years. And this means that at this point, yes, the planet is warmer than it is right now, which means that wildfires are still going to happen, the ice sheets will melt, and these things compound. With less ice, you have less whiteness, which reflects the sunlight, you have more warmth, and have more of this happening. So the planet will start heating itself automatically. We will not do the most optimistic thing. We will do a bit worse of it, probably something in between here. So we're looking at your children, my children, our grandchildren living, and us, literally us, we're going to live this. Living in a planet that's 2 degrees at least. I'm pretty sure that we're 2 degrees. Other scientists say 2 degrees. You do your own checking. 2 degrees of warming. Maybe 3, maybe 4. And also just the ice sheet as well. In the most optimistic scenario, the blue line, and here's some range of probabilities, what could happen. We're probably going to lose the ice sheet. In the most optimistic case, probably going to lose it. Or it's going to be a little piece of it somewhere. So this is to tell that, let's stop talking about, how are we going to fix the climate? We're not going to fix the climate. And then please go through the science reports. Let's not do pseudoscience. Go through all of the possible things that we could do in geoengineering, such as carbon capturing machines and all kinds of aerosols that you could inject in the clouds and all kinds of ideas. Go through all of the pros and cons of them. Think how would they economically be viable. Think how fast could we deploy those, and think would that actually make a big difference in the climate? Would that actually fix it? So we are post-fix situation. We can't fix it. And I know this is really serious, and I know that this is scary. And this is what I do, in the sense that I am motivated by very bad situations. And I want to do something about it. So we need to think, what can we do? Not necessarily what can we do to fix, but just what can we do, okay? And the point here is, what does a world with 2 degrees warming look like, or 3 degrees, or 4 degrees? And it's not just like things are slightly warmer. Here's one possible way of what the world looks with 4 degrees of warming. Yellow is desert, brown is drought or floods, and green is habitable. This is 4 degrees of warming, and this is where we're going to go. Our grandchildren and children will see this if we just keep on going as we're going. This means mass migrations, this means starvation, this means a radical world change. And who knows, after 4 degrees, it may keep on warming itself automatically as well. This is really, really scary. And I know this sounds just like abstract on an idea level, but take a look at the science. Open Google Maps. Just look at the pictures of deforestation in Indonesia and Brazil, and pick any random point in Europe. Honestly, I did it. Pick any random point in Europe. Zoom. There's going to be some city there. This is real. So what can we do? And so Scuttlebutt is good for disaster situations. But it's not like Scuttlebutt's going to fix stuff. But the world that we live in today is a world, it's a really unique world where we have the internet. And that is something that we never have had before. And with the internet, we get collaboration. So we need, the internet was born from ARPANET, which was also sort of let's prepare for disaster in case Russia, bombs one of these places. We want to have some kind of resilience for that, as Sarah just shared. Good points that I could remember that. That's how the internet was born. And people who will experience this, who are already experienced these kind of disasters, because they happen gradually. It's not like suddenly, 4 degrees and suddenly the world is like this. No, it happens very gradually, and it's already happening. These people need food. They need to know, where's this stuff coming from? Just basic logistics, like how can I get from A to B? How is food going to get from A to B? Where's my children? Where's these people? Where's everything? We need to do that in a very resilient way that doesn't require, what if the GSM tower falls or something like that? We need to have these kind of collaborations that are resilient, that can work phone to phone, can work device to device. And I do prefer to hope that we have collaboration other than competition and violence. That's what I hope, that we as a human species, we can cling to that, because we discovered this with the internet. We discovered collaboration and sharing of knowledge and all these kind of things. I don't know exactly everything that was going to happen, what can we do, but I do know that it's a unique situation. And what I want you to notice, is that the internet, everybody uses and depends on the internet. And the internet will be vulnerable to this. And the people right now who are building an internet resilient to these disasters on this planet is us. This group here is quite small. I don't know how you, do you realize how mind-blowing this is? We are those people. Thank you.